Hey there, it's Kerry Ann. How was your weekend? How was your Father's Day? How did you do with your loved ones this weekend? We did good. Grandpa had lots of visitors. It was very exhausting for all of us. He slept in today until almost 9:30. Um, I wasn't really sure about what I was going to talk to you about today, and then literally just a few minutes ago, Grandpa gave me a topic out of the blue. Um, it is kind of it's one of those things that probably drives you just as crazy as it drives me. It's stories from 50, 60 years ago, over and over, repeating them. Uh, Things that you're just like, oh my God, not the story again. I have to tell you, as I was putting him to bed tonight, he was telling me two stories about, one was from his childhood and one was from when he was a police officer. And it struck me that it's like reliving your glory days, but it's like sitting around with your buddies or your pals and talking about back when you were in high school, or back when you did crazy things, or back when you did stuff, but you're discussing it with the people you did it with. And at his age, he really doesn't have anybody left. And when we think back on those things, that think back to the days that we were invincible. We think back to the days that, and we were perfect. Our bodies were perfect. We weren't hurting. Things were the best that they could be. And as I'm getting him ready for bed, this really struck me that just taking that few minutes, and I listen to the stories and I don't interrupt him anyway. This is something that I had gotten from one of the Dementia Care Facebook sites. Is just let him talk, let him go over. Don't interrupt him, don't tell him, you already told me that story. And just let him go on. But a lot of times I would just be like, tonight it just struck me as I was very, I was touched that I'm the person he's sharing it with. And he started the conversation actually with my husband before bed. I still have to double check with my husband on that one. This is coming from Grandpa. But it always touches me that he can relay a story from 45 years ago, but I can honestly tell you he can't tell you who all was here yesterday. He knows that people came to visit him yesterday. He knows that it was a big day. He can't remember which big day. He's gone back and forth a few times today over, we had a big day yesterday, but what was it? There's a lot of disconnect on that, but the fact that he can day by day what happened so many years ago. And I wanted to actually share with you something that we had found when we were clearing out his house. Grandpa he has macular degeneration and he really can't see very well. But when he was in the Korean War, he made up these amazing albums. And I don't know if you can see, but he made up these albums, and he made labels for each picture. And when I was going through them with him the day I brought him home, he could tell me what was going on each day in each picture. He could tell me everything about the pictures. Just everything. And it was phenomenal to me. And he could tell me about the guys that were with him in depth. He could tell me so much of what was happening. I've seen pictures of him from way back when, and basically back from when him and my grandma got married, and I've seen pictures of him from when he was younger, but placing him back to when he was 19, 18, 20, this man that has always been in his, 40s, 50s up. And, putting that man with these pictures and those stories and tying them together and placing myself in the same situation with that mortality and trying to come up with that empathy. And it humbles me a lot that I'm allowed to share this experience with him and be there with him for this next journey and into this journey. It's still exhausting, still not easy. Another way to look at it. Still have angry days. Yesterday he was trying to tell on me for different things to anybody that would come. He had a little pouty points, called me bossy boots because I made him go sit on the porch with us. But all in all, he really had a good day. He was happy that he did it all. How does, I'm pretty sure you're probably going through the same kind of experiences. How are you doing it? Take the time to enjoy some of these stories if they're still telling these stories. See if you can kind of pull some more out of them, because I think you might be surprised. I have been along the way. I found out a lot about my grandfather that I never would have known before. I think you might be in the same situation where you're going to find out some things that with your loved ones, your mothers, your fathers, your grandfathers, grandmothers, and you might be just as humbled, just as amazed. To find out where they've been, what they've done, who they've seen, and what their thought process is on getting to where they were at. And plus, it might make your journey a little bit easier. And it kind of humbles you a little bit more because you're switched into this new role where you're at. If you've got any comments, go ahead and let me know how you feel. If you think I'm totally crazy on this one, give me a like, subscribe. I am wanting some subscribers. Tell me how you feel, because I really want to get a conversation going on this subject, especially with dementia caregivers. I think that we're out there and we could use each other. Find a way to be kind to yourself today. I know it's late in the day right now. I'm going to go try to wash the makeup off and maybe put something and try to get rid of these puffs. They're getting deeper and darker and crazier. But go and enjoy yourself for a few minutes before the craziness starts. I have a feeling we're going to have another night of movement. So I'm not going to get too much more sleep tonight than I did last night, but find a way to enjoy yourself. Thank you, and bye.